Richard Gere was born on August 31, 1949, in Philadelphia, but his childhood unfolded mostly in the quieter surroundings of Syracuse. It was a modest town where life moved slowly, yet young Richard carried a sense of curiosity that rarely felt satisfied. His father worked as an insurance agent, but was deeply involved in helping people in the community, while his mother filled the home with music and encouragement. The Gere household valued compassion, creativity, and discipline. Richard grew up learning several instruments and developing a strong interest in gymnastics. Despite his talents, he often felt a deeper question stirring inside him, one about purpose and meaning. While many children dreamed of fame or fortune, Richard seemed more interested in understanding life itself. Even at a young age, he appeared to be searching for something that went beyond ordinary success. The search for meaning. After finishing high school in 1967, Richard attended University of Massachusetts Amherst on a gymnastics scholarship. Instead of choosing a conventional career path, he decided to study philosophy. Books about existence, consciousness, and the nature of reality fascinated him. Writers and thinkers challenged his ideas about life and encouraged him to look deeper. Yet the structure of college never quite fit his personality. He felt restless and uncertain about whether formal education would lead him to the answers he sought. After 2 years, he made a bold decision. He left college without a degree. The choice worried many people around him, but for Richard, it felt necessary. He believed learning didn't always happen in classrooms. Instead, he wanted to explore the world, experience new ideas, and discover his own path. That decision eventually led him toward acting, creativity, and a very different kind of life. Discovering the stage in 1969, Richard moved to New York City, determined to pursue acting even though success was far from guaranteed. The early years were difficult. He performed in small theaters, took minor roles, and sometimes struggled just to pay rent. Still, those experiences helped him grow as an artist. One of his early notable roles came in the stage production of Rosencrantz and Guildenstern Are Dead. Theater demanded discipline, patience, and emotional honesty. Richard learned how to connect deeply with characters and stories, skills that would later define his film career. Acting was not simply a job for him, it became another way to explore human emotions and the complexities of life. The stage gave him a place where curiosity and creativity could meet. Slowly, the industry began to notice his presence, and new opportunities started appearing. A spiritual awakening. During his 20s, Richard's interest in spirituality grew stronger. While traveling in Asia, he encountered Buddhist teachings that deeply resonated with him. Eventually, he met Dalai Lama, an experience that profoundly influenced his outlook on life. Buddhism encouraged compassion, mindfulness, and detachment from ego, ideas that appealed strongly to Richard's searching nature. Meditation became a regular part of his daily routine. Unlike many celebrities who explore spirituality briefly, Richard embraced these teachings with sincerity and dedication. They shaped not only his personal life but also his perspective on fame and success. While Hollywood often celebrates ambition and competition, Buddhism emphasized kindness and inner peace. For Richard, this philosophy created a balance between his public career and private beliefs. It also inspired him to support humanitarian causes and speak about issues that mattered deeply to him. Rising fame in Hollywood. Richard's film career began gaining momentum in the late 1970s with roles that showed both charm and intensity. A major breakthrough arrived with American Gigolo, which introduced him to a global audience. Suddenly, he was recognized as one of Hollywood's most charismatic leading men. Soon afterward, he starred in An Officer and a Gentleman, a story that became a major box office success and solidified his reputation as a romantic hero. These roles made him one of the most recognizable faces in the industry. Fans admired his confident screen presence, while critics praised his ability to portray complex emotions. Yet fame also brought pressure. The expectations of Hollywood could be overwhelming, and the public image of a glamorous movie star sometimes felt far removed from the reflective person he was privately. The magic of a classic romance. In 1990, Richard starred alongside Julia Roberts in the romantic comedy Pretty Woman. The film became a cultural phenomenon and remains one of the most beloved love stories in cinema history. Audiences around the world were captivated by the chemistry between the two actors and the film's fairy tale charm. For Richard, the success confirmed his place among Hollywood's most popular stars. At the same time, the movie introduced him to a new generation of fans who saw him as the ultimate romantic leading man. While the film's popularity brought admiration and awards recognition, Richard continued to view acting as just one part of a much larger life. He appreciated the success but remained focused on personal growth and meaningful work beyond the spotlight. Speaking for human rights, as Richard's career flourished, he also became increasingly involved in humanitarian work. Inspired by his Buddhist values, he supported organizations that focused on compassion and global responsibility. One cause especially close to his heart was Tibet, whose cultural and political struggles had deeply moved him. He helped support groups like International Campaign for Tibet and often used interviews or public appearances to raise awareness about human rights issues. Speaking openly about global concerns sometimes created challenges in the entertainment industry, where studios often prefer actors to remain neutral on sensitive topics. Still, Richard believed that influence should be used thoughtfully. For him, advocating for compassion and justice felt more important than maintaining universal approval. His activism demonstrated that celebrities can use their platforms not only for fame, but also for meaningful change. Love, family, and personal growth. Richard's personal life included several important relationships that shaped his journey. He was once married to supermodel Cindy Crawford, a highly visible relationship during the early 1990s. Though the marriage eventually ended, both individuals continued their careers and personal growth. Years later, Richard found lasting happiness with Alejandra Silva. Their shared interest in humanitarian work and family life created a strong foundation for their relationship. Together, they built a home centered on values such as kindness, mindfulness, and generosity. Becoming a father later in life brought Richard immense joy and perspective. Raising children reminded him of the importance of presence and patience. Family life gradually became the heart of his daily routine, bringing balance to a career that once demanded constant travel and public attention. A new chapter in Spain. In recent years, Richard and his family chose to spend much of their time in Madrid. The move allowed them to enjoy a quieter lifestyle away from the constant spotlight of Hollywood. In Spain, Richard could walk through neighborhoods, visit parks with his children, and experience ordinary family moments without intense media attention. The slower pace suited him well. Instead of focusing on constant film projects, he prioritized time with loved ones and continued supporting humanitarian causes. This shift reflected a deeper change in his definition of success. Rather than measuring life through awards or headlines, he found fulfillment in everyday experiences, shared meals, laughter with family, and meaningful conversations. The change of environment offered him a sense of freedom that fame rarely allowed. Lessons from a long journey. Looking back at his life, Richard Gere's story is not simply about movie stardom. It is about curiosity, courage, and the willingness to follow personal convictions. From a small-town childhood to international fame, and from Hollywood sets to quiet moments of meditation, his path has been shaped by thoughtful choices. He embraced success but also questioned it. He explored spirituality while working in an industry often driven by ego. He used his voice to support humanitarian causes and continued learning even after decades in the spotlight. Perhaps the most important lesson from his journey is that happiness rarely comes from external achievements alone. Instead, it grows from compassion, relationships, and a sense of purpose. Richard Gere's life reminds us that true fulfillment often appears when we align our actions with the values that matter most.